Plotting on this AP, moving like electro. Watch we spark up these niggas, those feelings start to let go. Buster back in 98, dangerous on that flip mode. Said they flipped the script, but they said he playing the same notes. But they called again. But they called again. But they called again. But they called again. I know that we say this subconsciously, only paying attention when it's the medals we see. It's the Olympics, baby, know you're causing me off my feet. We in the winter now, you're patient, hoping I drop some heat. But they called again. But they called again. But they called again. But they called again. Slip through my fingers like grease, cause these niggas on the flight, no time to worry about peace. But myself to the bone so I can focus on tea. Left them all in the plaza so they don't worry about me. But they called again. But they called again. But they called again. But they called again.
They called again, but I could not live without you. You warm my icy heart, every word of that is true. I got a feeling you were desperate for me, but I got no clue. Think it's time I got respect for everything that I've been through. Yeah.
But they called again. But they called again. But they called again. But they called again.
Can't lie, I think I got you all wrong. You like to take charge while others struggle along. But to melt that ice again, you've got to prove you belong. In my heart, in my life, you gotta prove that you're strong. Yeah.
But they called again. But they called again. But they called again. But they called again. Guess who? They swear their hand slipped. They turned over a new leaf and made the wrong pick. Found them nooks in the game but still falling for old tricks. Felt like Will Smith, where these boys be playing with a switch.